Good evening. Hello. How is everybody doing tonight? My name is Foda Tobra, and I welcome you to Auntie Yaa'S Cozy Book Chat. My co-host, Mrs. Boatima Russell, is away today, so I am going solo. But before we go ahead, permit me to do some sharing, and then we'll come back. So let's do this, shall we? I hope you had a great Sunday. So yes, church was wonderful. Awesome and insightful preaching. And yeah. So today is the last day of October. Wow. How time flies. So here we are. Tomorrow is November 1st. What are you grateful for? I am grateful to be alive. I'm breathing on my own. I'm not in a hospital bed. I can walk. So I give God all the glory. I thank Him for my family. I thank Him for everything. I can't thank Him enough, is all that I can say. So, yes, I continue to share. So, when you look at the year, so 10 months almost over. Well, in some places, it's November 1st already anyway. So, when you started the year, I'm sure that you had some goals. You wrote down some things you wanted to do and all that. Have you done it? Have you accomplished your goals? Or is there some that need tweaking and reworking and what have you? So I leave that with you. It's not easy, right? But the first thing, the best thing you can do for yourself is even to have the presence of mind to write out your goals. So if you did that, then good on you. But if you've not been able to accomplish everything, don't beat yourself up. Just take a look at it, review, and see what you can do for the next 2 months, and then move it to the next year. Because if you're somebody who writes out your vision board or your goals for the year, then just review, revise, and set new goals for the coming year. We can't afford to be too hard on ourselves. Sometimes when we are so hard on ourselves, it paralyzes us. It stops you from even, going like doing what you have to do. So I think that it's important not to be flexible. Yeah, because, Rome was not built in a day and you need to take your time. You need to take your time, but don't be a procrastinator like me. I do procrastinate, but when I have to get things done, I get it done. So I'm still working on my procrastination habits. So as I said, you are on Auntie Yaa'S book corner, and today is Auntie Yaa'S cozy book chat. And we are doing The Beauty of a Woman's Heart, which is my second book that had come out in March this year. And the topic today is, what do you bring to the table? And it's based on pages 201 to 202. And the title of that page is Believing in Yourself. So I'm going to read the first paragraph and then we'll go straight to that topic. So on that page, I write, believing in yourself, it's imperative. There should be no ifs, whens, and buts about this. Believe means to accept something as true and feel sure about yourself. So how do you see yourself? What do you bring to the table? I ask this question because, this book is for women, but I've always said that men can also read it. But my concern is coming from a background where, yes, the woman has the chance to go out there, go to school and be all that they can be. But at the end of the day, too, the expectation is that you have to get married. And I've always said that I'm not sure why my Caucasian sisters have that option to marry or not to marry. But with us, it's like you have to. It is a have to thing. We don't have any choice about it. So a lot of us, we spend time focusing on that as if that is the only life goal. that we have. So the question that I'll ask is that when God was creating us, did he intend that every woman on earth, like, okay, all of you, your main purpose for coming on this earth is to get married? No, I don't think that is the case. There's a purpose that you have aside of being in a marriage. Even coming into a marriage is a communion of two people. And so two people who come and they are meshing together. The man has his goals, the woman has their goals. But some of us have put ourselves in the situation where, we feel that that is the end all and be all of everything. Oh, I'm married, my husband, my children. But you have to realize that children do grow up and leave home. A husband, sadly, sometimes it happens, may leave you, or if he passes away, then what? So some of these questions that I'm asking is just to encourage us, wherever or whatever stage of life we may be at. You may be like me. I've passed my 50s, I'm in my 60s now, and there are those who are in their 30s, 20s coming up, and maybe there's lessons that we've learned that we want to pass on to the younger generation so they can do better than we have done, hence some of these questions. So I'm going to pick up my notes and I'm going to start. And today, rather than come and talk at people, I'm going to use myself as a case study, just to build on the fact that sometimes we need to. Hi. Hello, Abigail. Welcome. Thanks for coming. So, we're talking about, let me put the banner up again. What do you bring to the table? It's based on pages 201 to 202. So, I'm going to start by saying that it is important to know who you are in any relationship that you come into, whether it's a friendship, a group or an association in which you are, or a marriage setting. Particularly since I'm speaking to women, then I would say in the marriage setting, know who you are. So that is the first, it shouldn't even be a question mark, really. It's just a statement that I'm trying to make. So let me put the period here. I'm not, okay, there we go. Know who you are. So I say that it is important. Hi. It is important to hold yourself and be confident. I mean, you need to be able to hold your own, know who you are, because knowing who you are helps you to reach your potential. And knowing yourself means that you know everything about you as best as you can. You know your shortfalls and you know your strengths. So knowing your values and potentials, like what you stand for. Yes, knowing what you stand for, right? So in this case, do we spend time figuring out who we are? Because all you know is that you're a woman and there's an expectation. We all have that mentality that I'm going through life at a certain stage. It is expected that I marry, have children, and so on, be raising children. Maybe I'm working, maybe whatever it is that I'm doing. But before you do all these things, did you know yourself before you went into your marriage? I would say no, I don't think so. I was naive. I've learned a whole lot of things that I didn't know back then. That's why I talk now, because maybe it will help somebody. Because, usually our parents, oh, yeah, you're expected to get married. Depending which family you come from, sometimes they don't even talk to you about marriage, what to expect, what to bring. You are not encouraged to, it's almost like you are groomed. You have to take the lower position. You're going there. And I mean, you're a man's helpmeet, but any relationship that is built on mutual respect and mutual trust, both of you have to have value and bring value to the equation. That's what we are talking about. So Aisha says, love yourself. Being comfortable with who you are means you'll be a happier partner. Exactly. And especially to with that statement that if you don't know who you are, you'll go into a relationship situation and you think that the other person is responsible for your happiness. We've all been there before because you don't know yourself. I mean, look, relationships are good, they are beautiful because you are how do you call it? There's mutual expectations. You are there for each other, you are leaning on each other. But you have to also know that in that same relationship, there may come a time of conflict, because it's full of ups and downs. And when those conflicts come, are you able to hold your own and stand alone and wait to, have that situation resolved? Because if you are somebody who is not very sure of themselves, not very confident, when these things happen, you over pacify. You are so scared. Oh, what did I do? What have I done? Oh, he's going to leave me. So then you backpedal and then, you make yourself a doormat. Oh, I've been told that when the man does something, put water in your mouth. Don't talk, this and that. So repress, and we are repressing things instead of finding positive ways of resolving conflict because we were not taught. All you know is that, oh, you are coming to get married. And usually in these marriage situations, when the marriage event is happening, especially the traditional, when the advice is being given, most times there is addressed to the woman. So somehow there's this perception that you are the one who's responsible for the whole relationship. And if you don't know who you are, you've not been taught conflict resolution, nothing, and then you are just there, blah, 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 running your mouth. He's running his mouth and everything blows up, And then, of course, you won't sit back and reflect, so the emotional intelligence that we're not so we don't have it all the time, or we are not even aware of it. We run around and tell other people, and before you know it, the situation has gotten worse because you're listening to outside advice, all because when you look at it and you start to unravel or peel it, it's all because you don't know who you are and you don't know what you bring to the table. So you allow things to happen to you and you don't know how to speak up and say, hey, I will take this, I will not take this. Because a lot of us are sitting in relationships where we are being abused, maltreated, what have you, and we think that it is okay because we don't know any better. We saw the older generation going through that, so it's okay. And if you go and talk to your mother, they'll say, "Oh, I went through the same thing. Oh, this and that," as if it is okay. It is not okay. We have to find a better way of maintaining our union. So our communication skills have to be positive. You see, there's nothing wrong with a woman being confident, believing in herself. Even before you come to the relationship, you need to be able to tell your partner what you put up with and what you won't put up with. He also has to be able to tell you the same. And that's what you work with. But if you don't discuss these things and it's all about the hairy fairy, tinted rose tinted glasses, oh, I'm in love, even red flags may be staring you in the face and you just don't you know bother you don't bother to confront the red flags, and then you go in, and when the first sign of trouble, you don't know what to do. You are lost. You are panicking because your whole life depends on another human being. So, in knowing yourself, I think it's important to sit down and ask yourself some questions. What do you like? What don't you like? What do you stand for? Like, what is your outlook on life? Are you a positive person? Are you good at expressing yourself? Are you able to carry out a conversation? Do you have ideas? Is there something in you that needs to be worked on? Is there something you are good at? Like all these things, because when you come into that partnership, look, a good partnership, the two people sit down and they plan their life, maybe 5-year plan, 10, whatever. Even it can be just a basic one without even the timelines there, right? And so if you should be able to verbalize, we are not very good at that. When you get into any situation with women, when they see women who I made this comment in Ajuado's program on, was it Friday? Because we don't take that time to grow ourselves. We're just, I'm here, I'm alive, I'm married, I'm abroad, I go to work, I come home. It never hits us sometimes to say, hey, I'm in a different environment. What can I learn from the environment? Is there something I could do? Oh, I know I have this skill or have this talent. Let me find resources to better myself, or maybe use it to increase the family income or what have you. So we just sit there and we take everything and we allow everything to happen. And when it does, because we're not able to verbalize, when we see other women who are able to, we call them names. We put tags on them. It's very easy when you are not self-actualized to put somebody down or to be envious of, or to call them names, pull them down. When you see that they are doing something that you want to do but can't do for whatever reason because you've limited yourself so much. But somebody who has a healthy self-esteem and is not afraid to say, I don't know this, can go to that person and say, hey, I see you're doing this, this, this. I admire you so much. How did you do this? How did you get here? And start a conversation. So this is what I was saying. Yes, that when we see women who are able to express themselves, then we start putting them down because we can't do it ourselves. Aisha says openness is key. The ideal partner is open, undefended, and willing to be vulnerable. Thank you. And then she says respect and independence. And Ajua, hello. Ajua says greetings and more grace to you, the knowledgeable and beautiful Sister Yaa'S Atobra, author Bakope, along with all the incredible friends as well as viewers on the platform. Viewers, Ajua is greeting all of you. Aisha says, Yehovah, pull him down syndrome. Yes, yes. You need to get to the point where when you see somebody doing something great, you can say, wow, good for you. Awesome. Good on you. I'll come learn a tip or two from you. Or even to open your mouth and compliment people. Hey, that's great. We are so stingy because we have this idea that it's all about just us. Because in our society, you see, we are not taught about being other focused. I don't know if it's the poverty mentality or whatever it is, I don't know, but we're only all about ourselves. So it's like the joke that is made that a woman, when you go to marriage and there's bills or debts, give it to your husband, but when there's money, bring it home. So, we have these scenarios where people are not open about the monies they have and this and that. We do all kinds of things. So we are not other focused. So we don't know how to, even when you say somebody should go volunteer, me to go and do something I don't get paid for, very few people do that or are in that spirit. So that stinginess is what is keeping us back. And then too, we have pride. So if we don't know something, we're afraid to ask questions because I know for a fact that we are a people that we come from a shaming culture. We love to laugh at people, shame people. Myself being a tall girl, I was shamed so much for being tall back home as if it was a disease. But then you come to North America and it's like, oh, wow, you're tall. You could be, I'm like, it's like people compliment. It doesn't matter to me, even. It doesn't matter whether you're short, long, whatever. But we need to learn to respect and appreciate and honor people. And that we don't know how to do. We don't know how to do that. Yes. So we've been talking about know who you are. Let me see the next one. Know your values. So when we talk about values, what do you stand for? Okay, I'll go back to this. I said I would make myself a case study. And all these things that I'm going to say about myself, if you ask me if I was like that in my 20s. Ajua, I remember I heard Ajua on her program saying that I think she said what either when she was in her late 20s or a particular age, 20s to 30s, she used to be very angry, an angry person. And when I hear her saying it, I laughed, not at her, but I'm laughing with her because I was like that too. There was a stage in your life that you are so angry and you don't know why you are angry. And now knowing what I know, it's part of your upbringing because you've gone through things. Think about it. How many of you in your childhood, when you had, say, quarrels, fights or little fights or scraps with your siblings or whoever, how many of you were taught to sit and talk about it? If you say, oh, this person did this to me and my sister and I'm angry, oh, be quiet, keep quiet. Every time, keep quiet, oh, no, they are just a child, leave them. Oh, you are the firstborn, it doesn't matter. Oh, this, every, excuse to just not deal with issues. Oh, for me, until I grew up, I got to a certain point, I thought everything was hunky-dory perfect because we're being raised like, oh, don't worry, oh, this, you say something, and then you're told, oh yeah, Bonnie, because you are verbalizing how you feel, and yet you are being told you're a bad child. But how about if we knew, parents and children, are we even allowed is the thing, but in this environment in which we are, and then to that, there's an extreme side to it, of course, but what I've learned is that you need to be able to communicate and talk to your children, much as you may not even want to acknowledge or, you think, oh, what is this person talking about? You have to listen. That is how they are feeling. And they will tell you, we didn't grow up like that. But I tell you, if you're in this environment and you think you're going to raise your child the way you were raised back there, you will lose your child at some point. So we need to be listeners here. What does the Bible say again? Slow to speak and old age. I can't remember my verses, but there's something like that. You have to be slow to speak. Hear, listen carefully. We don't listen. Sometimes we just listen only to respond. Yes, I'm guilty of it. You listen to respond. So we don't know how to communicate. So when the knowing, know who you are. This is what I say about myself. I say I'm amazing. I'm fun-loving. I'm outgoing. I'm sassy. I have a sense of humor and I like to laugh. But when in those days when I was so angry, I didn't know who I was. Hello, Miss Sage, how are you? Abigail, your illustrations are out of this world. How for do? You see, I didn't know who I was. If you asked me that back then to tell you, I would say I'm one angry person. I couldn't even begin to tell you, but I didn't get to this place. I haven't been like this all my life. I worked at it. I had to work on myself, and you do it bit by bit by bit. Because of course, with our people, if you hear people talk, oh, I'm this and that, and they're talking so confidently, all we say is that, oh, look at them. They are showing off, they are this, because we've not been taught to feel proud of ourselves. Not pride that the arrogant kind of pride, a healthy self-confidence, healthy self-esteem, believing in yourself and being able to say, hey, I'm good at this, Yeah. So, and I go on to say that I am an encourager because I like to see people do well. And I'm highly motivated. If I want to do something, I will do it. No matter, I'm not saying that I'm going to go and harm somebody. No matter what obstacles you try to put in my way or whoever tries to push me or pull me down, I'm going to do it because my mind is made up that I have to do that thing and I will do it. There's a lot of us, and it's not to say I don't have my struggles, but one of the things, where is it? Okay. Yeah, I put here that I am disciplined. Yes. I push myself. I'm a go-getter. I believe in myself. I don't wait for others to do it for me. No, because if I'm going to wait for somebody to do something for me, It will never be done. Look, they have their own baggage. They have their own stuff that they are dealing with. You think they are going to stop their race and come and run your race for you? You better be running your own race. You see, we don't realize it. We sit in life and we are wasting a lot of time. We are wasting a lot of time. We don't realize it. Day in, day out. When I started, I was saying today is October 31st. In some places, Aisha, it's already November 1 where you are. And so 10 months of the year have gone by. What have you done? When you started in January, maybe even December, you were making plans for the year. So, and some too didn't make any plan. Oh, it's just another year. And we've been there. Oh, 31st, we're all shouting, screaming, praying in church. But did you write down any plans? Did you write down any goals to work on? No, you're just screaming, hey, 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 God this, God that. But this is not in the Bible, but that statement, God helps them, those who help themselves. You know something? If I see Abigail pushing, doing something, I'm passing by, I'll say, oh, hey, Abigail, I see you've been struggling to move this thing here. You are trying hard, but maybe you need another pair of hands. And then I'll help her to push. But if you're going to sit there and think that somebody is going to come and carry your whole load for you, I'm sorry. It ain't going to happen. No, it will not happen. Let me read Adjoa's comment, and then I think we will take a break. Adjoa says, anger is not a good feeling, because if care is not taken, one can cause harm to loved ones or self. True talk, because some family members I stayed with while my parents had traveled abroad caused all that anger in me with senseless flogging, maltreatment between ages 10 and a half to 16 and a half when I joined my parents, which went on through my late 20s. It was a struggle. And it took years to work on myself in my 30s. Adjoa, kudos to you because you identified the issue and then you put in the effort to work on yourself and to resolve it or find better ways of dealing with life, or I don't know if that's what you call the coping skills, but how many of us are willing to do that work? How many of us are willing to do that work? So, when we come back, I was talking about, knowing yourself, and I was describing myself. Yes. Aisha says, the origin of God helps those who help themselves is a phrase used to underscore the necessity for people to take self-initiative. Thank you. Because you can't sit there and think that somebody is going to do your work for you. You have to do it yourself. Okay, let's see. So it's commercial break. Let's see, where am I? When I'm looking for these things, I can never find them. Okay. And there it is. That's The Beauty of a Woman's Heart. You can find it on Amazon, Canada, US, France, Spain, Germany, Italy, and Inovi Books. It is an awesome read, very inspiring. It's got questions in it that you can answer. You know, like I said, I used to read books that had questions in it and I'd answer it in my head. Then I decided to write a book and I had to put questions in it. So those questions now I answer them myself. You know something? Don't drift through life. You need to ask yourself the hard questions. In finding the answers to those hard questions, that is how you grow. If you want to become a better version of yourself, ask yourself those hard questions. Don't just go through life wasting time. You were brought here to do something. You are a person of value and you need to find that value. So let's continue. I believe there's a comment. Joa says, thank you very much. Says, much love to you and your continuous educational teachings. Thank you, Ajoa. I appreciate you. She says, the mere fact that so many people do not give a toss of how their actions and lives impact others, loved ones on social media, all for hype, views, and negative attention is very worrisome. These are some of the issues that we're talking about, Ajoa, because a lot of us, you've heard me say before that we are the walking wounded. We're walking around with all these repressed emotions that we didn't deal with from our childhood. And then when we get angry or we see that somebody is trying to do their work and minding their own business in their corner, we just blow up or unleash on them. Or we go in a relationship because we don't know who we are. We haven't dealt with these issues. Look, some are very serious. Some it's verbal abuse, physical abuse, what have you. But some even it's molestation and what have you. And it was shut. Oh, that's your uncle. If you go and talk about it, you are disgracing the family. Oh, this, hush, hush. Everything is katasumu emwasu. Everything is katasumu emwasu. Especially those families with those high, oh, you can't talk about this. Oh, you know something? For me, I believe that if you have a problem and you don't open your mouth and tell somebody about it, if you're not careful, either you get depressed or that problem is going to kill you because you're just hanging on to it, hanging on to it. Look, there's lots of resources around now. If you don't know something, Google is there. You start from that basic point and then progress to where you have to maybe go find a therapist or go find some expert to help you to deal with your problem. But for goodness sake, don't go around making other people scapegoats for your issues, your children, your husband, whoever, friends around you, other family members. Deal with your own problems, deal with your own stuff. Learn to work on yourself. It is important. Because you see, if we don't invest in our own growth, pretty soon we'll find out that people will not want to be around us because of what we are putting out. Nobody wants to be in a relationship with a difficult person or somebody who's high maintenance. They want you to be the one always pacifying them, giving into them, doing everything. It's all about them, but they won't lift a finger to do even one thing for anybody else. How many people will stay around people like that? No. So this is the thing. Next, I'd say you have to know your values. I have all these things on sticky notes. You have to know your values. For me, my values, what I hold to be important to me are honesty, integrity, loyalty, commitment, pursuit of excellence, and trust. We, as human beings, right, you need to be able to trust people. And if I can't trust you, I'm done. You know, it's like I'll give you, I don't know, like when somebody breaks your trust, it's very difficult. There are some people, they are just about themselves, basically. So they'll use you and throw you away. And or they're just all about themselves. They are conniving, they are sly, and they just want to use you. They come into your life, they think you think they are your friends, but they are not. As soon as they get what they want out of you, boom, they are gone. You know, and they don't see anything. These days, people don't even see anything wrong with it. We cheat each other, we do whatever, and it's okay. We tell lies, little lies, big lies. I don't know. It's and integrity. Like there are people, when people are around, they'll be hunky-dory, nice, and but when people are not around, well, they are doing something else or acting a different way. Are you a loyal person? For me, like, I can't trust people who are not loyal. You don't know what they'll say when you're not around, but when you're around, they are smiling and laughing with you. As soon as you are out of sight, is something else. I can't do that. So for you yourself, you have to sit down and decide, what are the values. These are values that you live by and you choose to uphold in life. You can't say today I'll be honest, tomorrow I won't be. Oh, I'm very committed, tomorrow I'm not. Look, if you are not committed at work, you keep showing up late. You think you'll have your job. But look at us. Even us, as for work, giddy giddy, we'll get there and we'll check in before 8 o'clock or whatever time. But when you say come to church, they're coming 2 hours later, and they expect they expect people they expect what do you call it, people who have come early to be waiting for them. Let me take some of the comments. So Ajua says the personal attacks are pathetic, twisted, and sickening. It's only our society communities where many are receptive to abnormal behaviors. Some of the things on social can cause others to develop mental issues. Ajua, we're already there. Like, I don't understand it. Everything is the insults, and I don't get it. I don't get it. It's like, it goes to this thing that I said about we don't know how to resolve conflict. So that is we just resort to insult, and that's it. We haven't learned any other ways of coping. Adjoa says a lot of people do not even understand what value is enough to build one in their lives. Well, this is the thing. You honor yourself, you respect yourself, right? Like, put some value on you. You are important. Like, what makes you think that as a woman, it is okay for a man to slap you and beat you around and you say you are married? Oh, my husband, as for my husband, he loves me, so he beats me to show me that he loves me. Really? Aisha says, Auntie, yeah, I don't see myself in the walking wounded description category. We find our way through our unique experience in it. I hear you, sis. The reason I say that is that, okay, let me leave the comment up. There's still people around who will not do that work. Like I said, I realized that I was also angry. I didn't understand why. And then I thought, but at that time, so now that I'm even able to analyze it better, it's from all those years of, everything is okay if somebody does something to you, and we, and this, that. Really? So if somebody does right now, if somebody does something to you, and you go and confront them, not in a nasty way, but you approach them and say, hey, you did this and I don't like it, they get upset with you for being bold enough to come and confront them about their behavior, and then they want you to feel bad. But no, it is you. You've not learned. Your social skills are poor. If you knew you had proper social skills or etiquette or manners or whatever it is, some of the things or whatever it is that you do to other people, you wouldn't be doing it. So I understand it's not everybody who's invested in doing this work. So there's a lot of walking wounded around. So I understand you, because you are working, or you've worked through yours. And I had to do that, and I continue to, right? But people are not willing to do it. They would rather make other people responsible, blame other people, insult people, and they think it is okay. Yehovah, Lord have mercy. Okay, you got it. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but those of us who are doing the out there, and it's very sad to see. It's like I really don't do this, but I'm going to give an example. Somebody who's one of the whatever celebrities back home, and the marriage is breaking up, and I saw something on Facebook writing all these things. She doesn't know what to do and this and that because the marriage is over. Life is meaningless. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, oh my goodness. As Aisha would say, Lord have mercy, Yehovah. And I'm thinking, because of a man, your life is over? Really? Does he breathe for you? Is he walking for you? Does he eat for you? You know what? It hurts. It hurts, but you pick yourself up slowly, little by little. Look, it's not going to be easy. Heartbreak is not easy. Nope, nope, nope. But build yourself up. When these things happen, if women knew, the thing that you have to do is pick yourself up slowly, little by little. The first few months will be hard, but you pick yourself up little by little. You have to do it to start building yourself, putting yourself back. I'll say this in tree. The next time, months down the line, that Obere man, when he sees you, I saw a fairy. Because, whoa, look at this person. And I left her. If you're going to mop and mop and mop, oh yeah, look at her. Even when I left her, she doesn't even know what to do with herself. Look at her. No, don't give anybody that satisfaction. I'm sorry, but Ajua says such foolish notion for anyone to take beatings all in the name of marriage. Saying, Apu, when marriage does not take anyone to heaven, tell me again. Yes, many Christians rely on Matthew 22:13, which Jesus tells a group of questioners, at the resurrection, people will neither marry nor be given in marriage. They'll be like the angels in heaven. I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I get so confused. I get so confused because I don't know, which side. Like, okay, we were talking about values. I think I wrote a definition here. Values are standards or ideals with which we evaluate actions, people, and things or situations. What values do you live by? Like I say, if somebody is lying to me constantly, I know that this is not a person who is a good friend. I can't trust them. So, boom. Well, I mean, you don't go around cutting people off your life like that, but you kind of place them in a particular order of, hey, how much importance they have in your life. If you know this person, you can't trust them, obviously you're not going to be putting out a lot of things to them. Yet they remain in your circle, but you know how you deal with them, right? So yeah, it's very, like, we don't put value on ourselves. We don't have any yardstick. Like, all we know is that I've been raised in this particular environment. This is what is expected of me. If I'm a man, I'm the man. If you've been taught how to love a woman, love yourself, you know how to love a woman, your girlfriend, your wife, whatever you saw in your family when you were being raised, chances are what you bring into your outside or future relationships. And so, if you get it, you get it. But if you don't, like most of what I know in the culture is there are some men, it's changing. Some of the younger ones or even some of the older ones are changing. But still, that when you hear stories of people beating up their girlfriends or beating up their wives to the point of killing them, or disrespecting a woman, like, if you are going to be pregnant with another woman, like, women put up with too much. Like, what is it? We put up with so much. Oh, he's my husband. Men will be men. So if he has two side chicks or two whatever, it doesn't matter. Is that the value you put on yourself? Is that how you value yourself? And so we tell each other these things. Meanwhile, he's running around, running around. What is he bringing you? What is he bringing you? And then when you go to the hospital to get that STD treated, it is your own female counterparts who will look at you and be passing judgment on you. And meanwhile, they are the ones who say, oh, Obema dear. But when it happens there, then they'll judge you. But even not forget about the judging, just the embarrassment of it. So when they see other women talking, speaking of, oh, those women, oh, those whatever, meaning that, why don't you come and join us and let's all be doormats together? But you know something? Your parents gave birth to you. Your father and mother came together Your mother carried you for 9 months. And then you think that their pain, the pain of raising you is nothing. So you go and sell yourself short in the name of love, in the name of marriage. Sometimes these people haven't even married you, and yet you go and be washing their clothes and doing all kinds of things because you have put no value on yourself. Let me read some comments. Aisha says, loyalty, humility, compassion, honesty, kindness, integrity, selflessness, values. Thank you. And she's saying thank you to something I said. Thank you. So think about all these things. I remember Ajua said this comment. I also responded that, yes, everything I am right now, it's my, thank you, Abigail, self-love. It's my parents. Look, granted, you can get into a relationship and your husband, if you are building together and building well, your husband can help you to become something or become somebody. But for me, I say that whatever I am right now, it's like, and I'll talk about it when we come to potential. So my parents made sure that they educated me, I figured that, yes, brofo, I can write English. I just don't know where to put my commas. It's like, you know what? I had to use it for something. Yes. You have to look at your life and say, what am I good at? And that is what you do. You use to do something, or to your passion, Yeah, let me read Ajua's comment and then we'll continue. It is never easy to get over a broken heart indeed, but sometimes it's a blessing for a better future ahead. Thank you. She will need to focus on her self-worth. It's important for anyone who goes through failed relationships or marriages to give themselves time to heal while they do everything, including self-love, self-care, self-value, self-confidence, self-assessment, self-control, and self-image. Thank you. And then Aisha goes, some of us don't understand what is love simply. Yes, you are exactly right. Excuse me. Aisha, that thing that you just wrote, it's that verse, love your neighbor as yourself. I always, when I got that insight, or and that aha moment, the light went on, the light bulb went on. But we are the same believers. We are reading this and we are not getting it. Love your neighbor as yourself. But we sit there and we make each other feel like, oh, if you do anything for yourself, you are selfish. Do it for anybody. We are doing things for everybody under the sun except our own selves. And then when your eyes open, you say, no, not anymore. Not anymore. I got to do me. It's not that you are selfish. If I can help you, I will, but I'm not going to sacrifice everything and give it to you. We have to learn to love ourselves. A lot of us don't. We don't. Message says, when you do not value yourself, no one will either. It's true. You are unique. Live your life to the fullest. Give it your best shot. Thank you. You're my kind of girl. Like, hello, you are here. Why are you going to sit down and allow people to treat you anyhow? Oh, you're capre. No. Aisha, I'm sorry, Abigail says you give what you have. Yes, if you don't have it, then work on it. Oh, it's not easy. Ajua says, bam, bam, and bam. You just put the nail in the coffin of our Passage Williams. This is the coffin, the nail. When you do not value yourself, no one will either. You are unique. Live your life to the fullest. Give it your best. Look, I'll tell you this. There are sometimes people, because of their own insecurities, they want to treat you a certain way, like they put you in the corner or something. And then they see that no matter what that they are doing, you are so you. I'm not going to look at you. When you have healthy self-esteem, you don't even bother. You go, oh, that is your issue. Don't allow anybody to box you or put you in a box. Be yourself and grow yourself. You are running your race. You are not doing anybody else's. So we think too much about what people will say and what people will, are they breathing for you? does your husband, even your husband or your wife, are they breathing for you? The person that you are worrying about, ask yourself that question. Do they breathe for you? When you answer that question, just shut your mind and keep going, keep walking. No, do your thing. Please, you are only here for a time. You don't know when that time. I always say you were born in 1988 dash. We don't know the end yet. When God calls you, then we put the end there. So till then, it says, what did my pastor say today? Walk circumspectly. Don't be wasting time. Plan your life. Live. If I sit here, I'll talk and talk. I'll never finish. Ajua says, the fact is that there are many people who cannot function without someone directing them because they lack of so much coping skills and are limited. This is the thing, because if you are helpless or you are not putting any thought into your life and you are just living other people's dreams, looking at other people, and no, it doesn't work. You know something? I've said this before and I'll say it again today. The most valuable asset that you have is your mind. You have to put it to use. You get to decide how you want to live life, not another person. You need to decide. I didn't go and ask anybody permission to write. After I wrote my first book, there was a post that I did. And in there I said, if I had gone and asked someone permission to write, chances are I would have been told no. Probably it would have been a man saying no to me. If you figure something out and you know you can do it, do it. If you need advice, look for people who will support you, not naysayers who will put you down. There are some people you just can't share your dreams with them because they'll only poo-poo it and put it down. Oh, now you are going to do this. How many people have tried to do this? It didn't work. Look at you. Who do you think you are? And then the dream is squished, squelched for life. And then you'll be sitting there every time. Then you are panicking. Oh, now Uyema show. Oh, I should be doing this, but oh, they said this, so I can't. And then self-doubt sets in. Don't give anybody that chance. Never, ever. Do your thing. Do your thing. Do your thing. So we go to the next, let's see. Know your potential. What do we mean by potential? So the dictionary definition of Google says potential is latent qualities or abilities that may be developed and lead to future success or usefulness. So if you know you have the potential, right? Yes. Yes, exactly. It was Ephesians, but I couldn't even remember the verse. Yeah, thank you. Ephesians 5:15 and verse, it says, look carefully then how you walk, not as unwise, but as wise. Thank you. See, chai, that's so sad and a pity power regarding lack of understanding of what is love. Or Bapa Isha Ankara. Yeah, we don't know that you come first. This is where, when you get on the plane and you're with a little child and something happens, you have to put your mask on first before you put the child's on, because you are no use to the child when you've passed out. Do yours quickly and then help the child. Yes. But as for us, we've got this Pollyanna behavior and heroes, whatever. Oh, what is it? There's another name for it, but we always think do-gooders. We always want to do good for people so people will see how good we are. Meanwhile, we haven't done the good to ourselves. Do good to yourself first. Take care of your household before you go outside and be taking care of everybody's business. There's no point saying you are paying school fees for 4 people back home when your own child, you don't even give them money to go buy books or whatever for school, or you are not looking after your own children. What is the point in it? So your potential, what are you good at? What do you want to do with yourself? Or you think you don't have potential. Sometimes we don't see any value in ourselves. I see you doing this, you are good at it. Oh, me, oh, as for me, I don't, oh, I'm a woman, oh, this. And we make excuses. Oh, I'm not good at math. Oh, I'm not good at this. And then we put ourselves down. Let me tell you something today. Maybe it will help you snap out of it. If you are so good at putting yourself down, thinking you are going to get sympathy from people, let me tell you this. People want to squish people down. So don't give that power to anybody to come and put you down. Look, there are people who are healthy. They have healthy self-esteem. They are healthy up here. So when you say certain things, they know how to help you to deflect. I'm not talking about those kinds of people. There are people who have done their work that you can be vulnerable with, that you tell them, oh, me, this, and you all laugh about it. They are laughing with you, not at you. Those are the kind of people you should associate with. I'm not talking about those people that you say, oh, Mikrano, I wasn't good in math, I failed in math. Then next time they hear you are doing something and they go, oh, that woman, don't mind her. Didn't she say she failed in math? What is she going to do that for? So when you were talking, thinking you were talking freely, they are so immature. This is where I've always said that the people you share your information with, are they mature enough to be able to handle it? Then they go and put it out there, basa. Aisha says we need to walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. It's about time. We have to change something. We really, really have to change something. So basically, going back to the banner, this is what we've been talking about. What do you bring to the table? And it's based on the page, believing in the subtopic, believing in yourself in the book. If you're a woman and you're in a relationship or you're coming to any relationship, what are you bringing to the table? We spend a lot of time discounting ourselves because we say, oh, I'm a woman. Oh, I'm this. As for me, it's not expected. This is not expected of me. The man has to do this. What I know is that the man is supposed to look after me. And then you are sitting there in the year 2021 and you think it's a man who has to look after you, or you have to go and sleep with men before you can get ahead in life. How about you be proud of your own self? Sit down and ask yourself, what am I good at? What can I do? So there's a lot that you can do for yourself. And if you don't take the time to get to know who you are, what you are good at, what you are not good at, because all these things, when you figure them out, you start to work on them to make you better. Because, at times, the things that we say are our weaknesses turn out, when we work on them, they even become our greatest assets. Do we know that? But we are people, we are, we are so timid. So it's like we don't take initiative. Yeah, we don't take initiative. We just let things go. Oh, I'll get to it. Oh, I'll get to it, because we're so fearful of trying it. So we won't even venture. It's human nature. It's not just us, everybody in the human race. What they are known always scares people. Even at work, sometimes if I know there's a big project coming, I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? And you are thinking it through your head. As soon as I take 1, 2, 3, 4 sticky papers, and then I start mapping it out, I go, yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. And then I have a plan. Before I know it, it's done. What I'm saying is that you need to stare your fear in the face and walk through it. Walk through it. There's nothing that cannot be done if you put your mind to it. So we'll go for a commercial break and we'll come back and wrap up. Where am I? Okay, we're going to do this. Give me a sec here. And here it is. That is Reflections for a Thirsty Soul, my first book that came out last year. You can get your copy on Freezing Press, Amazon, Barnes& Nobles, Google Books, and iTunes. It's a very good read, very, I don't know how to explain it, illuminating, insightful. It's interesting. Sometimes you don't know the impact that you have till somebody tells you. Was it yesterday or I don't remember when, but a few days ago, I was on Clubhouse and I spoke about something. So there's a young lady, yeah, I think she's a young lady. She came behind, she back channeled me and wrote a comment. And she said she appreciated the comments I made and for being very real. And she said, yeah, she talked about this book. She had read my book. And she said, she thanks God for me penning that book. It's very real. She even bought a copy for her friend. I was so pleased. I thought, oh wow, good to know. Yeah, I was. And I told her to go write me a review. So commercial break is not over. We continue. And there it is again, The Beauty of a Woman's Heart. It is a faith-based book, but can be read by any woman. It is full of inspiration, motivation, and encouragement. And that is what we are treating today. So let's see. And there it is. This is Refreshing for My Weary Soul, which came out on October 12th. You can find it on Amazon Canada, US, UK, France, Spain, Germany, Italy, Australia, and Japan, and also Innovi Books. It is a delightful book. It's a quick read, 120 pages. And this is just full of insights that I've gained from the Word of God. So I write it in story form. I ask some questions, and we've got practical nyamisem in here also, as well as waters of refreshing. Get your copy. If you haven't got your copy, please get your copy. It is a great read. Thank you. So I'll go back. I'll read the comments after, but I'm going to make a statement just to buffet what I've been talking about. What do you bring to the table? Adding value to yourself. Yes. So I'm going to say this, and it's like I have to encourage somebody. If you had asked me if I ever thought I'd write a book, I'd say no, let alone be able to write books. So all these 3 books came out during the COVID. Think about it. I mean, they were written before, but they were published April last year. This one came out. This one was March, and this is October of this year. Think about it. My goal, like for me, I never thought I'd write a book. So when I did the first one, I said, okay, if I've done one, then I can do more. So I pushed myself. And then I thought to myself, in my mind, all I was saying is that 1 book a year is good enough. But then I realized that I had enough material for this. And I said, you know what? I love a challenge. I pushed myself. I said, I can do it. And I did it. As I sit here talking, I probably have this 1 book that I'm working on already. There's another one based on the Bible. And then I have to do my memoirs. And then there's another one, some notes that I write to myself, like talking to your soul. But when I write it out, it's like I'm praying to God or something. And I'm like, this is something somebody else should see. So you see how potential comes. If you know you are good at something, when you do the first one, you don't stop. You keep pushing. I can do more. I can do more. And you keep going. So don't ever stop yourself, or don't ever allow anything to limit you. Yes, it costs money to write books. And yes, sometimes you don't even see the results right away of what you have put in. It's not being reflected in the sales, but that is not the point of it. The books are out there. People write books. These days, it's not just writing books. You have to do other things to put the book out there anyway. So those are some of the things that we're working on. But you can write a book. It may not be popular today. It may not be 10 years down the line. It's blowing up everywhere. So for me, it's like it's something that I wanted to do it, and I can happily say that I've lived my passion. Even if I don't write any more books, these 3 are enough. I have accomplished something. My potential, like as a writer, I've satisfied it. So we're talking here in practical terms. We don't come and sit here and talk and don't give examples or relate it to our own lives. If you watch this video and you don't learn anything at all I'm saying is just do it. Push yourself. Let me read these comments. Did we read this already? Adjoa says, majority of the people in our society, communities enjoy to be in a victimized role to gain empathy years and decades, because it's easier to not work on themselves because others are receptive to the excuses, reasons, and blaming games. They are simply stuck in a loop going round and round in their comfort zones. It is true, because we are enablers. Oh, as for this person, and then we are feeling sorry for them and we're encouraging it. It's right, it's true. Instead of saying, if you love somebody well enough, you take a stick and give them a whoop on their backside and say, you need to get up and get going. You can't sit here crying, woe with me, this and that. Push yourself, go. If you are in any relationship, sometimes we're afraid of speaking the truth to people. I'd rather speak the truth to you, have you hate me, have you not talk to me, but in your mind you go, what she's saying, it's true. And then maybe later, even though you are not talking to me, I can see you doing that very thing that I'd advised you to do. And I can sit back and say, well, they are not talking to me, but I see they are making progress. That is enough. We need to take action and stop being sitting there in the year 2021. People still sitting around waiting for somebody to come from Abrochiri to do this for you or somebody to do that. Even some are in Abrochiri, they won't do anything for themselves, and yet we're surrounded by resources all around. You just have to want to do it. Ask a question and somebody will tell you where it is. Go find it and do it. Adjoa says correct and simple, but fools tend to follow fools because they identify themselves with each other, where the wise peoples become wiser because they learn to grow and change. Sister Isha Ankara. Miss H says, we now have the first female vice chancellor of the University of Ghana. This shows that anything is possible if we put our mind to it. Yes, I mean, it's like women, you can be or do anything. You just have to put your mind to it. There'll be challenges, but you have to do it. Look, in one of my, I think, video clips on the beauty of a woman's heart, my Facebook page, it was International Women's Day, and I did this piece of clip. This girl, I forget her name now, but she's some environmentalist or whatever, and she's been to the North Pole, she's been to the South Pole, and when she decided to go on whichever one, I forget in which order she did them, men were telling her she should just stay in the kitchen and saying mean comments, chauvinistic comments to her. When she got there, she had a sandwich in her hand and she said, yeah, I got here and here's the sandwich, but you have to come so many kilometers to come get it. And I looked at it and I said, yeah, good on you. Because, they were making these comments to her, but she did it. She was 16 at the time. She did it. Adjoa says, that's right, and congratulations for all your accomplishments, and God bless you, Sister Yaa'S. I'm truly proud of you, and you are inspirational to me big time. Thank you, Adjoa. I mean, sure, thank you for all your support. If we're going to sit in life and look at people, think about what people will say and feel bad about ourselves, we will never do anything. We are wasting time. Look, myself sitting here, I can sit here and do a war with me and say, oh, why didn't I realize this and do it when I was in my 30s, when I was in my 40s, when I was this? This is the time, because it's easy to cry about it. But for me, all I put is that it's good that I got my wake-up call now, because now you can tell somebody back there. Yes. So whenever things happen, it doesn't matter. It's like at the time when I was getting all these negative comments before from wherever about my writing, and I saw something on Facebook about a woman, this was about 2 years ago, so who was 100 years old and had written her first book of poetry, and I go, You see, the thing I love about life in the diaspora, people in the diaspora, is that they don't let things like age and this and that stop them. Somebody can go to school and say, I'm a lawyer or this or that. Next thing they've stopped you, they are doing something else and they get accomplished at it. But as for us, we have these timelines. If you don't know, you are too old, or you are too this. There's people who come and tell me, there's women my age who say, but I'm too old. I'm too this. I remember this lady that I know, she's in her 40s. And she came and she was in my workplace or something. She saw me in my building. And she made a comment to me that, Auntie Yaa'S life or something. And I thought through it and I said, she's thinking that at my age, I shouldn't be. I'm like, says who? What has that got to do with anything? These are the labels that Ghanaian and African women, we are part of our own problems, because we put people in boxes. You are this age, so you are supposed to behave like this. You are that age, you are supposed to be this. You are here, you are supposed to be this. So because of the age that I am, so right now I should be walking around frumpy, dressed in looking like an old woman. No, I know what my age is. That's not important to me. I believe in looking decent, looking good. That's all. It doesn't matter, because I'm me. I'm carrying me. You can't carry me. If you want to carry me, you dress me like an old frumpy whatever. Abrewan dresses say. What is abrewa? A 30-year-old person can be abrewa because they've given up on life. Oh, I'm too old. And they are sitting there talking these things to themselves. And people help them. So they are stuck there. You know, they are stuck there. Yes, good for her. Now, even when you think about it, why did it have to take so long? 2021? But hey, that's what it goes to show. It's a man's world. If you don't push, you'll be left somewhere. I mean, it's okay to have goals, but other women will make you feel like you are doing something wrong, especially in the cultures that we come from. Oh, you should just be satisfied with being married and having kids. So I've had the kids. They've grown up. Yes, they've grown up. They have their own stuff that they are doing. So what do I do with myself? Have you ever asked yourself that question? And retirement is coming. What are you going to do? So, you know, with all that I'm saying, I'm not saying don't love your family. Hey, I love my family. I love them so, so much. But they know that mom has got stuff she needs to do. But I'm there, you know, when they need me. Like, it's like the things that I used to sit and be complaining or this or whatever about, I don't do it anymore. I just busy doing my stuff because you need to do something. You have to have something, a reason for living, whatever that may be. That is entirely up to you. But don't sit there and say, oh, I don't know what to do with myself. There are a lot of women, their children are grown up, their children are married and gone, and they are looking, the couple, they are looking at each other and they don't even know who they are. So what do you bring to the table? Know who you are, know your values, know your potential. If you are lost, if you're a woman who's lost yourself, you've lost your identity, go back and ask yourself, what do I bring to the table? It's never too late to start. It's not to say, go and fight your husband and say, hey, I want to do this and you didn't let me do it. You need to take charge of your life, talk about it, discuss it, come up with a plan, build yourself up. And even if my thing is that raising kids, being in a marriage, they're all lovely things, but you have to have, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, and then there's you. Most often, you know, it's like a dear pastor friend of mine said, well, you want me, when you call me Ya Papa, and then I have to call you Ya Mommy, where's the time for the romance? Because you are calling me this person that. So how do you and I relate, right? So the thing about it is, who is you? Yeah, it sounds grammatically incorrect, but it's a question. Who is you? You is in quotes. What do you bring to the table? Hey, young lady, if you're going to go into a marriage or a relationship right now, what do you bring to the table? Map it out. Have your plan. And he brings his plan together, and you talk, and you go from there. Anybody can do this. It doesn't matter what stage of life you are at. If you want to do something for yourself, fulfill your passion, whatever, get joy out of life, you need to ask some of these hard questions. So, we've been here talking from the beauty of a woman's heart, and I hope that you have all gleaned something from today. I thank you so much. It's been a very lovely and interactive discussion. Miss Abigail, Miss Aisha, Miss Ajuodo, Miss Sage, and whoever else who joined us but didn't write comments, so I don't know that you're on. I thank you so much. And if you come after, please leave us your comments as well. Would appreciate it. So I'll read Ajua's comment. He says, one time I shared a traumatic event that happened to me at my last former job where I was sexually assaulted, and someone I thought was a critical thinker asked dumb question like, what were you wearing? I was like, what? What the heck has that got to do with someone invading my personal space? Even if a person chooses to walk in the street naked, still no one has the right to touch or attack that person. Ajua, you see the things that we do? Every time is victim blaming or victim shaming. It's got nothing to do with that. Like instead of having empathy, oh, are you okay? How was the situation resolved? Did you need to have counseling or whatever that was? Those are the kinds of things that we need to ask. You know something? We have to learn to have empathy. We don't have some of these things. We are not even sympathetic, let alone no. I don't even know. Don't let me go there. Maybe I'll use wrong words and it's rather unfortunate. Yes, it's rather unfortunate, but these are some of the things because emotional intelligence, what have you, we don't know certain things. We are not versed in putting things out the right way, so we say things that hurt people or that wound people more. And when you even open up to share something with somebody and they say this, it makes you clam up. Next time you are not able to, if you are not careful, you put yourself in that position. But we need to learn to be open. Be open, like keep an open mind, keep an open heart. Somebody shares something with you, do the right thing with the information. Offer them the empathy, the help that they need. Maybe they've not even thought of an option. They've considered other options, but maybe something you know that you bring out. Oh, okay, I hadn't thought about this. I'll look into it. But all we do is, oh, blah, blah, blah. And then we put it there. Ajua says for sure, because some people tend to speak like they have Ajua. Oh dear. So, we'll end it here. I thank you so much for being here. Your presence is always appreciated. I bless you for all your support. So I'll be back on Tuesday with Refreshing for My Weary Soul, and that is at 5:15 p.m. Oh, thank you, Aisha. Thank you. Ajua says this incident happened during a live video and it definitely spoke my mind that day. Oh, yeah, really. Oh, the person made that comment during a live video. Oh, no, no, no. That is not appropriate. No. I mean, it's not very sensitive at all. Very insensitive. Yeah. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, if you are part of the audience there. Take care, okay? Have a blessed week. Take care of yourselves. Thank you, Miss Sage.